Hey, everyone out there in the world, if you're in the suburbs, if you're in the city, wherever the hell you are, wherever you're tuning in from, we got another sponsor. It's a good one. You might have heard of them, called Ladder. I know you see them on TV. I know you see them on your Instagram. And if you're like me, trying to start yet another fitness journey, you don't know where to start with protein and supplements, Ladder. It's the way to go. I tried their Tropical Punch pre-workout this week, and it was tasty. It was delicious. It got me going for just the right amount of time. I wasn't like too amped up after the workout. It was perfect. I really liked it a lot, so you should give them a try. Shout out Ladder. Thanks for presenting this week's episode.
Shout out Ladder.
Shout out Ladder.
I always got to thank Ladder.
Daisy with the water bottle he decided to keep.
The
one water bottle.
Thank you, Ladder, for your water bottle, man. All black everything, y'all. Just see it. Y'all see it? Just all
Ladder.
black.
If you want to sponsor my show, if you're seeing this,
we're getting there. We'll get there. We'll get there, Johnny.
Johnny, we will give you as much free pub as you want.
And, hey, Ladder. Thank you for the free bread.
Yeah, just for you, Daisy.
All black everything.
And thank you for deciding Daisy got the water bottle.
So what can I say? It's another Friday in the Suburban Kings neighborhood. Hello, royalty. How are y'all doing on this wonderful day? It is sometime after 5. You know it's happy hour everywhere.
Sometime after 5.
It's 5 o'clock.
It's quarter to 6.
It doesn't matter.
Somewhere.
Because when you're done.
That's the saying.
Because when you're done.
Do you even have a watch on right now?
Yes, of course I do. Of course I do. Let me not flex on you.
Get roasted in the intro.
Let me not flex on you real quick. Oh, what does that say?
You're wearing a watch in the house. Like, what is the point of that?
This is a fitness watch. This is different. I'm tracking my steps. Anyways.
Yeah, so is the government.
Anyways. And they could track me. I'm healthy, bro. Okay? I'm healthy. Anyways, it's the Suburban Kings. We are back once again. In season 2, bigger, better, realer than ever. How are y'all doing? We have some very special guests on. I'm just gonna introduce them because every time I don't introduce them, these guys make fun of me. But please welcome somebody that we've had. Our first ever Dumb Smart was with this person interviewing the last Greek god Dimitri.
Oh shit.
Johnny Gallioni, our friend, our counterpart, our teammate, whatever you want to call it, our audio man on the side.
Executive producer would be a nice title.
Okay,
yeah.
Executive producer,
the one and only head of Park District Recreational Sports.
Oh, man,
Johnny Gallioni. Clap.
Hey.
My man, his accolades, man.
Yeah, where's my MIDI controller so I can get that like EDM siren, that dun 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 dun. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh,
well, thank you for having us on the other day.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you guys,
that was really fun.
Austin and Rachel were on my show.
What were they on?
Sorry,
I wanted to be on was there. In the comments.
And what's your show called, Johnny?
Triple J Sports Live. It's on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock on Facebook Live.
Wednesday. There it is.
Okay.
Check it out. Wednesday nights, 7 o'clock.
All right.
Glad you're here, Johnny.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
With us. Jake Painter is his other co-host will be joining us later.
Mm-hmm.
If he does.
The third J of Triple J Sports is Joe Estes. I don't know if he'll be here. He has been in finals week. He finished up his first year of law school this week. So I wonder if he's going to want to come on and talk about it or not. But
Joe Estes cleans the messes, baby.
Is Joe going to be on today, or is that what you're saying?
I'll send him I think I sent him the link. I will. If not, I'll do that right now.
It's all good. But while Johnny does that, what's good, SBK? How y'all living, man? Let's start off with the lady. What's good, RBZ?
Things are going pretty good. Again, apologizing not only to my co-hosts and our guests, but to everyone listening right now. I apologize if you hear a little extra background noise. It's my dogs. They're all crazy. They're joining me today. So I apologize if you hear any ruckus taking place. It is my life constantly. So.
That life chose
Love
you.
That
life chose you.
So
right.
What's going on, Rachel?
What is going on?
What's going on?
started yet another fitness journey. Pretty excited about. I bought a ton of like pre-workout and protein from a bunch of different brands to figure out what works best for me, because you know what works best for most men typically doesn't have the same effects for women. So we're testing it out. We're gonna figure out what works and hopefully just keep going strong for the next like 540 days until the wedding. So
nice. Well, congrats on your new journey.
Thank you.
And I know it'll be a successful one.
Mine.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a thing.
She's getting married to Cody Stonebreaker, baby.
Over a year and a half.
Congratulations.
Yeah. All right, Austin J. Charles, which one want to go next? Which one of you?
I'm pointing down at Austin. That's what he looks like on my screen.
The funny thing is that you're the lower person on mine.
It'd be
I love how we're all in different spots. What's up, everybody? What's going on? I'm in a better mood this week. Obviously, I sound a little bit better.
There we
go.
Didn't sound better yesterday.
Well, we can't do 9 o'clock anymore. I'm exhausted.
You're an old ass man.
Whoa. Straight out the gate with the criticisms here.
Whoever does that with me, I can't do 9 o'clock. Too late for me. But anyways.
Austin, 25 and washed, yo. This is crazy.
Yeah, dude. Whatever, guys.
I'm gonna just say
I'll say pre-quarantine, I was right with Austin. Post-quarantine, not so much. My sleep cycle, I feel like I'm a 16-year-old on summer vacation again.
Yep.
With my sleep cycle.
I feel like a zombie.
Staying up to 3 a.m.
It's been hard. I've never staying up that late, so I don't know. It's weird. My sleep schedule's fucked, but I'm in a better mood. Work's going all right. What's new? I mean, Mother's Day is this weekend. I mean, that's new. Hopefully people got them mothers some gifts, their mothers. I wish we had someone that would, promote us for Mother's Day gifts in general. That'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
Shout out to future sponsors.
Podcast, like what your mom really needs.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
A flower.
But no, I'm moving in 2 weeks.
Flowers and bouquets.
2 weeks out from another move. I've been moving since I was 16 years old, literally every single year. So yeah, just another day in the life.
Where are you moving to?
Almost 10 years of moving every single year.
Where are you moving to, Oz?
We're moving on Southport.
Okay, so you're just that nomadic, huh?
It really is.
Let's see.
It really is.
Yeah, 16.
You should just maybe invest in like a wigwam or a teepee.
I mean, at this point, I'm a traveling man. I went to 4 houses in Streamwood in all of high school every year. And then in college, we moved every year home and back to a new place. And now I've moved to a new apartment every year after college. So, I mean, that's just what it is. But this place is like the nicest place for that span. So
good.
It's dope.
Congrats, man.
Definitely have everybody over when we can. It's definitely bigger.
Relax.
Should have what you should do when you have a housewarming party is while everybody's partying, just set up the podcasting equipment and do it and call it a live remote.
Nice.
We did that. We did that once back when I was hosting the Fat, Drunk, and Stupid show. We did was having a house party at my buddy's parents' house. They invited us over and we just set up the podcasting equipment. And it was hilarious because people were like just listening to us talk while they were talking. I mean, drinking. It was almost like being a real radio person. And we were getting.
And then you just had people come in.
That's very interesting, Johnny, because I did say we should have a listening party.
We were getting people, and of course we're getting people loaded and asking them really tough questions to answer. Like at one point we got my buddy's mom who had been drinking on the show with us, and we're giving her the worst, like the funniest would you rathers we could think of. Like, would you rather have like dick-sized nipples or a nickel-sized dick? Stuff like that.
Dick-sized nipples. It's wild.
Yeah, and we're asking my friend's mom these questions, and like
that's funny.
Doing FMKs with her, and she's like 53 years old, and I'm making my co-host is not squirming at all. If any of you guys know the Gaylor brothers, it was Tony It was Tony who was hosting, but it was Danny who was coming up with the questions. So you can only imagine how depraved they were.
That's
definitely,
awesome.
We definitely will have something like that. I mean,
it would definitely be awesome. I want to do a Casino Royale party. I've said it on here before. I literally have real life-size belts with craps. What else I got over there? Roulette, blackjack. I got a roulette wheel. We dress up. We drink.
White suit.
We have a good time. We gamble. You
said
know.
Royale,
I thought he said a white suit.
Yeah, he said white suit.
Yeah,
that's
like
boring.
James Bond off fucking Battle. Come on, man.
Yeah,
that suit was
like,
clean, but that's boring.
Are you talking like Yin Yang Twins 2007 white suit?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah,
I've said it on here before, Johnny, but literally me and Nick Spola bought everything you could have in a casino.
That's awesome. I love that.
You got slots.
So that's what we're thinking. Well, not.
Slots are. Well, that's the thing. Anyone can get a slot machine. Really, they're not hard to get. But if you've got like craps tables and roulette,
I mean, Brett could get a slot machine, but technically,
no, you really can. They're not hard to find.
No, but yeah. So that's the plan. But yeah, new place in 2 weeks, and that's about it. My sister's having a baby next week.
Oh,
next week. Yeah,
you about to be an uncle?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
It's a wonderful time.
Kyson. Sorry, with a K.
I wish I knew the feeling, Deji.
Kyson. I always get it mixed up.
Kyson. There you go. I was about to say.
See, that's what you gotta. That's why you gotta come up with like a nickname, like straight out the gate.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say Kai. I'm gonna say Kai.
There it is.
Kai probably works, but people think
maybe Kai. Maybe I'll just call him Caillou.
Just like
call him Kylo.
And he's gonna be probably bald. Caillou works. Like he'll be bald for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hell no, he won't be bald.
For a little bit.
Some babies come out like bald as hell.
No,
some come out like
babies come out like they look like Furby.
Come out with full ass like hair, like a helmet on their head.
That's always wild to me when babies come out with full ass hair on their head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of weird to me.
I feel like that's not actually normal.
Yeah, especially like when it's like like you're like European ass white friend who's like pushed out a baby and it's got a full head of hair. Like, damn, like, that baby ain't European.
Oh,
I'm sure there's babies that come out with more facial hair than I have.
What the hell?
Wow.
I'm just saying.
But
unless it's Portuguese, I guess. Maybe Spanish.
Wow.
I'm just saying they don't come up with a lot of hair.
Okay, whatever. I'm just saying, wow.
Oh my God!
It's a wow from Deji, but it's a smile from Deji, and that's how I know that I pushed the right button.
That's what we like to see.
There you go.
That's how I know I pushed the right button.
That's right. Well, but yeah, that's about it. So that's all I got.
Charles, your facial hair ain't that bad, dude.
Say what?
Your facial hair's not that bad.
No, I'm pretty sure there's some kids that come out with more facial hair than me, yo. Dead ass.
I mean,
like,
dude, mine's long right now, but it's so thin. It's patchy. It sucks. I would love to have like a full beard. I almost just shaved down to a mustache the other day. Like a
you and every other guy in quarantine.
No,
maybe by 30 I'll have a
I'm talking mustache. Like I was gonna go Fu Manchu.
It's
like
the
that.
best.
No, it's not.
You're gonna go goatee, basically.
No, it's not.
No, I'm going Fu Manchu, so it'll be here and then just the lines right here. This will all be gone.
Hey, Rachel, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
what's the skin color of the majority of the men who are just doing stashes?
I don't even need to answer that question.
You know what? And Deji,
hey, you set it up.
Deji,
I'm a duck it. That's all I'm saying.
Deji, I'm gonna throw this out there. What happened to the stern black mustache of the 1980s and 90s? There were so many good ones.
No, we just gotta go with the Jordan stash now.
It got overrated, man.
Yeah, and Jordan had a stash.
Jordan has the nastiest little fucking patch.
Oh, yeah.
I hate seeing that.
Michael Jordan had an Adolf.
Anybody remember the Hanes commercial with Jordan and he had like the Hitler mustache on it?
Thank you. He had an Adolf.
Yeah, he did.
He had an Adolf.
One word. Doesn't say one word, just
in the Dream Team, like he had that like goatee looking thing, and it looked nasty too.
Sorry, man.
Hey, it don't matter. It wasn't as nasty as Clyde Drexler's hairline. You know what I'm saying?
boy.
On the fucking Trailblazers, that was bad.
Clyde
Daisy, that's how
Dre-
they was treating you on the IG Live. That's hilarious. Like, you had Clyde
So,
Drexler.
he's so lucky Twitter was not around.
Shut
in
your mouth.
91.
I don't even got a hair.
That's
I
no,
even
I'm
got
saying
the
that's how they
hairline.
was.
I
That's
just
how
don't
they
have
was
a
treating
cut.
you, dog.
Never.
They was
I
doing
have-
you bogus.
Anyways,
They was doing
It's
you
too
mad
much.
bogus.
that's why I'm wearing a hat today, because of y'all haters.
All right, so I guess I'll go
Good-
next.
good
I'll give my
segue.
update. All right, so yeah, basically I just been working. You know, I got the Switch, been glued to that motherfucker since I got that shit.
What are
I'm
you
not gonna
playing
lie.
now?
Pokemon.
I
Did
thought
you
you
beat
beat
it yet?
playing. I beat it, but like it's
Oh,
just
don't let my
I just been raiding.
co-host hear you say that.
I just been raiding, yo. I've been raiding dens, getting better
Dude,
Pokemon. And I'm playing Super Smash too.
Me, Brett, and Matt Calasuno have been playing GTA Online, Charles, and it's fucking
Yo, it's
awesome.
lit. I got y'all.
It's
I'll
good.
jump
You
on that
guys,
shit.
Charles, you should start playing with us. We've been like, we're starting to do heists and shit.
Oh,
Anyone else who
shit.
wants to play? Hey,
I'm about it.
we
But
got a
as-
gang. We got a lot of things going.
As everybody can
Sorry.
see, you know, I'm out here looking fresh. Got my hair retwisted finally. Your boy's back, you know what I'm saying? I'm not out
Yeah.
here looking way too nappy.
Looking fresh to death.
I ain't out here looking like a crackhead basically anymore, you know what I'm saying? So
Nah, bro, you look good.
I feel good.
You look like that. You
I feel
look like the
good.
kind of dude who would be like in a college cafe, like trying to talk, like on a date with some girl, trying to talk up, like, you know, the Fugees were much more than just Lauryn
the
Hill.
Yep.
Fugees.
Yep, I was about to look like a throwback.
What you want? I just get into my what's it call it? The fucking my spiritual bag. Talk about signs
Yep.
and shit.
Exactly.
You're giving me some Bob Marley vibes.
Put your hair up.
I'm just not really feeling this right now. You know,
What's
I'm an
the-
Aquarius. I'd
what's
be
the-
mad like
What's the
distant
light?
from people.
What's the light skinned dude that Zoe be going out with in Grownish who had the dreads?
Oh, you gotta relax.
you
Don't do that.
just you didn't answer. You just said you
Don't
gotta
do that.
relax.
Look at, he just said you gotta relax. Right there.
Don't do that.
Don't even
Don't do
it.
that, Daisy.
Sorry,
Don't do
over
that.
People's heads.
Don't do that.
You won't.
I'm just
you
happy
won't.
my shit is just long. It's just draping. You know, it's
Yeah.
gonna be sad when I cut these motherfuckers off.
I
but-
feel like now people are just now starting to adjust to quarantine, because it's like it's weird. It's been months but like people are like now starting to finesse the situation. Like as long as we're under 10, we're good. You know, I can go see my people. Yeah, I've been seeing more and more invites. We're keeping it small, which makes you feel weird because you're like,
bonfire outside backyard. You know what I'm saying?
go to the parking lot, eat in the car, say 6 feet away, or have a beer with your guys in a parking lot. Like, I'm like, what? Okay, I
I
guess.
saw a couple at Hoosier Grove Park under the gazebo eating
Screaming at each other?
No, they were just eating Wendy's
wow.
on a date. And then I saw another couple, like probably like late high school, early college age, who were just like laying in the soccer field looking up at each other. And they weren't doing a whole heck of a lot, but people are like finding ways around it. Like, so good for them. And no, they weren't arguing with each other yet. Just because it's in Streamwood doesn't mean that the couple start yelling at each other.
Wow, that's great.
I didn't even tell you that they were inside of a Walmart. I said they were in a park.
Damn. Yo.
All right, Johnny.
I swear when I see one of my homeboys, I'm about to do that South Park. I'm not your buddy guy. We're just gonna take one step back or a couple steps back every time, just get farther away from each other. Just scream at each
I'm
other,
not your
just
friend,
social
buddy.
distance. I'm not your buddy guy. I'm not your friend, buddy.
Johnny,
I'm not your friend, guy.
Nobody knows South Park.
How?
I'm joking.
Stop knocking damn Mongolian. Stop knocking down my tree wall.
I'm about to-
man. What you
All right,
mean?
Charles, please,
Hey,
please.
call back. You
Charles,
want?
please don't
We
make
want
me.
havoc.
I have that.
I was
I
here
have
that day.
voice.
You
in
know
my
I was here
bag.
that day, Daisy.
I have that voice in my bag, Charles.
Goddamn Mongolian, stop knocking down my shitty wall.
You goddamn Mongolian, stop knocking down my shitty wall.
What is going on?
Oh, that's a callback, Rachel. That's a callback episode. That's a callback.
I think that's a
What?
little.
I was like in elementary school watching that shit at Daisy's crib. So
That's
it
out of
was
my
like,
realm.
Shitty beef or shitty sushi?
What's up? With,
Shitty sushi.
what's going on with you, Johnny? What's good? in
Only a
Um,
shitty pot down.
Bro, I'm just figuring out the last 2 weeks of the school year right now. I'm a teacher, so I'm working on the distance learning stuff. I was kind of racking my brain really hard about how to get my engagement numbers up, all of this stuff, like working really hard to get in touch with my kids. And this morning I traded a text with a colleague who is a friend of mine who works in another school district and teaches high school kids. And they told me that part of the reason why their numbers are so low is because their seniors have taken jobs because their parents were furloughed. And that was just, that like rocked my world.
Yeah, that's
And
messed me up.
I just, you know what? And I was like, you know what? I'm given what the times are and how quick we did everything. We got devices into the hands of thousands of kids grades 6 through 12 in 48 hours in our district. 48
Devices
hours.
meaning what?
Are you also using
iPads.
Zoom to do?
No,
Okay.
we are not
Okay.
having any sort of video meeting. Like, do you guys remember
Okay.
Newsella or Newsy LA from high school?
No, we didn't use that.
No.
Didn't do
No.
that.
We're
So
too old.
It's like articles and stuff like that. And we also did like DBQs. Like if you ever did like, if you were in a smart kid in the AP classes.
Mhm.
Oh, I
that's-
didn't make that cut.
Oh,
that's what that
sorry.
was for. So we do stuff like that. But I'm seriously now not worrying about it as much because it's like, look, if you were a good kid and you had decent grades and did the work for the first 3 quarters, the fourth quarter per the Illinois State Board of Education can't fail you. It can only help you. It can't hurt you. It can only help. So I'm not as worried. And then they'll get a few months over the summer to like get used to it, work out all the kinks. And if we have to do this again in the fall, then there's no excuse. But I'm at the point now where I'm like, look, if there are kids that are engaged, great. And if they're not, I'm not going to sit here and speculate like why they're not, because I know there's a multitude of reasons. I got kids moving. I got kids, you know, who are the primary caretaker for a 5-year-old sibling. Am I really going to tell you, hey, like, you know, don't go knock the kitchen knife out of your 5-year-old brother or sister's hand. You should really just be focusing on reading your article for science or social studies. Like,
Yeah.
it puts everything in greater perspective.
That was really serious.
Other than that, I've been working really hard on our Facebook Live show, which has been somewhat of a treat because I've been having to play around and remember all of my broadcast training to be like, okay, like now I'm using a program called OBS, so we've got like overlays and stuff like that. I'm going to be able to switch scenes soon, which will be really cool.
During the live?
Yes, during the live.
We might have to do a Zoom call after this so I can learn.
Yeah, it's honestly, I'm not ready to teach that yet because I'm still playing. It's software that I never used. It's something called OBS, and it's free. It's open broadcast software is what it's called. And I just, you know, mess around with it and can put like take in stuff from different resources. And then lastly, I started an investment account recently.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I hope to be part of the 1% that's ruining America and the rest of the world soon. So I'll keep you updated on that.
Congratulations.
For right now, I'm still an idealist. I want to buy a house soon. That's what I'm really looking at. I would like to buy a house.
Right, smart.
Yeah, that's what
I could tell you so many strategies that people use when they start investing that you'd be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So like
AJ never put nobody else on game.
You don't ask. If you want to learn about money, I will teach you everything that I know. Because I used to be broke all the time.
You should be willing to give out the knowledge without people asking.
Charles, you're not going to make the obvious joke.
I used to be broke all the time.
About what?
He said, I'm going to put you on. He said, I'll put you on about money if you're willing. If you
because I'm a Nigerian scammer.
You got to put me on the scammer, no.
Oh,
he's gonna give you.
You gotta show me how to. You gotta show me how when somebody walks to the ATM and takes out some cash, how to just walk over and scan. Like,
no. He's got to get them on the correct Western Union number.
It's fast. It's fast. It's fast. You know what? You missed the joke, Charles.
Yeah, Charles, like you just ran right over it. And you know what's funny though, Charles? The first time I met you,
all I was talking about Nigerians being scammers.
The first time I met you, the first Dumb Smart, you made like 3 of those jokes.
Man.
Yeah, it's true. You know, I don't know. Daisy just be being like, man, you just mad racist, dog. I'm just like,
Charles
man.
throws it in there when he can.
I'm gonna use my one Edward of the show right now. Motherfucker, I'm not even gonna say it. Motherfucker, black. I ain't racist. I haven't We have a totally different audience. We have a totally different audience.
That's what's called a tease.
We have black people that listen to us,
Charles. You haven't said it in actually a long time.
But you know, I'm doing it out of respect for the other people who listen.
Has Charles ever said that? Has Charles ever said the N word on the podcast?
Season 2?
Yes.
Yeah, all the time.
Remember, we were like,
what?
you can only say it once because you used to say it all the time.
You know what it is? It's because you guys have white ears, so it doesn't matter to me if he says it.
That's kind of true.
Austin
would just look at me like, yo, bro.
Like, I never heard that word.
No, but it would be like mad excessive.
White trash dude.
No,
I use that 5 times in one sentence.
No, but
like,
to my people, the
I can't believe your ass.
To the brunch eating white crowd, the N word is actually Nutella, and we like it in crepes before we have the rest of our breakfast at Savory or at
Nutella.
Buttermilk.
Throw that shit in the garbage.
Nutella is trash.
Facts.
I'm telling you right now.
Trash.
You know who likes Nutella?
Italians.
looks mad hurt.
I was gonna say white girls. But
Italians.
White girls.
It's the Italian peanut butter.
Yes, and it's a
pretty generalizing statement, Deji. I don't like the way that you just
You are shitting all over my cultural heritage right now. Y'all are racist as
well,
hell.
Johnny, I mean, I'm Italian and I hate it.
But how Italian
you must be
are
Sicilian
you,
then.
I am Sicilian.
Sicilian is like...
I know.
Sicilians are lit though, man.
You may as well be Greek.
Oh,
they're everything. You could be Greek.
Shout out to me. I just said that completely like shout out Dimitri though.
Yeah, and I'm from black. And I'm from
Sicily,
Mykonos too. Well, listen.
I'm just fine.
Anyway.
Charles, it's in Greece.
I know.
I said that. You really
don't make me give you a geography lesson, please.
Like for real.
Yo. And
all
anyways, really, N-word a lot.
Yeah,
but tell me I haven't.
We don't have to. This episode is not about the N-word, guys.
Your ears are triggered when you hear the word. As to me, I just be like,
no,
oh, it's
not as much as other people.
Because Rachel, how many times have you heard the N-word?
Like since I started being a host, or since when you guys
started? Since you started hanging out with Deji more.
Let's really get it out of the bag.
Damn, I was about to make a funny. I was about to make a funny joke, but I'm not about to do it.
Wait. I usually only say the N-word. I usually only say the N-word when I'm mad at people. That's
lying. Motherfucker.
I mean, I've heard Deji say it once or twice. I'm not gonna lie.
See, once or twice. Like, it's not a whole bunch.
I'm gonna be honest.
You do it around white people like that, Deji. Fuck you. You're saying every other word.
Yeah,
when Deji was gonna
the N-words.
When Deji was gonna fight that guy in flag football, Austin. Remember that when Deji was
letting that shit go on IG Live.
He was out of pocket, yo. He was out of pocket.
He got right up in this big ass white dude's face and dropped like 6 N-bombs on him. And I like.
And you know what happened?
Wait,
first of all,
you up.
First of all, Eddie.
Cheddar Bob looking at.
You can't take me when I'm in. What did the Boondocks used to call it? I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, the nigga moment.
There you go. There we go. An end moment.
I'm gonna say fucking.
It's the number 3. It's the number 3 cause of death for African Americans. Do you remember the first 2 words?
That's hilarious. That was hilarious.
What was it?
The joke on the show was they said it was the moment. And he said it's the number 3 cause of death for African Americans behind FEMA and KFC. I was like.
First of all,
Magruder is funny as hell.
Cartoon,
I'll die over Popeyes any day before I die over cake.
Aaron Magruder is the best.
I'll be that dude who got strength in Popeyes over the spicy chicken sandwich.
Hey,
before I get some goddamn KFC.
Johnny, to your point though, that dude was out of pocket.
Oh, he was totally out of pocket.
When I stepped to him, that's when he fell back, and then all his guys had to jump in, and I was like, oh, so you wasn't trying to fight. So I'm just saying. He wasn't about
funny
that action.
I saw that happening, but you were like 30 yards away, and I'm like, oh, I better run over there. And then like something else kicked in my head. I'm like, nah, I'll jog over there.
I was going to take out the whole team.
He's a Nigerian nightmare. He's got it, you know.
I was going to take out the whole team, bro.
Yeah, literally, I was playing center on this team at the time, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I'll jog, whatever.
Bro, some roid head grabbed me by the neck, bro. I slapped his hand down.
Damn, we're using roids in flag football? Jesus Christ.
I slapped his hand down and muffed his ass in the face, and I was like, bro, like, don't touch me. Like, you want to do this? And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, don't do that, what? Because I was just going to sock him in the face before somebody stopped me on my team. I was that guy, and then I got to the point. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna have to catch a case, I'm gonna have to catch a case because that was just ridiculous what he did.
Nah, bro, you got into
Daisy,
that fight
relax,
because you get suspended for a week, but you were going to Florida that next week anyway, so you didn't care.
For flag football, bro. This man.
How can you claim somebody's using roids during flag football?
He just looked like a juice.
He's talking about fighting, like him and the other.
Wait,
dude, like,
hold on. When was this? How old
week.
were you?
This was last year.
Yeah,
this
was.
Oh
was,
no, I thought you were talking about like
last spring.
It was
stream with Falcons flag football. Like my man was.
Everybody's like college age. So I mean, the dude did kind of just look like one of those like big like douchebag rec sports dudes.
Well, that's the team that wore the basketball jerseys.
Yes,
the basketball jersey dude.
Yeah,
if you wear basketball jerseys, like
he was getting
2008.
They were disrespectful though.
You're a tool, bro.
Hey, fuck those guys. Hey, fuck those guys at the Carroll Stream Park District Flag Football Association. Fuck all y'all. I mean, that was some bullshit. And now you're gonna give me reheated.
But that guy was out of pocket because I just had him on clamps, bro. It was Revis Island, and it was Revis Island, and he wasn't getting no balls, so he was getting frustrated.
If we would have had a quarterback, we would have been great.
All right.
That one dude. Oh, you're gonna disrespect Daisy, right?
Because no,
hell no, I'm not a quarterback.
If we would have had if we would have had someone who actually was like a actual throw the ball quarterback with Austin and Deji on the outside, and then you throw Gargano in the slot, and then we had my buddy Jeff in the other slot who caught like an 80-yard slant. His first game, like
that dude was slow as fuck. By the way.
Ooh, Jeff.
Jeff was slow as hell, bro.
He's
tight end body style.
No, he's fast and quick bursts. He's just my age.
No, that bet is slow, bro. If that was Austin, he wouldn't have gotten caught. If that was me, I wouldn't have gotten caught. That man
Austin is like a one
that's
in
because
like
the most exercise that Jeff does now is golf and smoke meat.
Okay, all right. Besides the point, we're getting off track. This is not what this episode
Rachel's
is about.
just sitting there like, man.
Are we gonna get to people hating or not?
That's right. It was flag football.
Did you do powder puff?
Every once in a while, yeah. It usually interfered with cheer, and we weren't allowed to because we would get hurt. But I did a lot of girls in college. That counts.
Hey, I'm just
y'all was like trying to break through tackles.
That 100% counts.
No pads.
When you
it's
guys
just trying to break through tackles.
You guys used to beat the shit out of each other.
Facts.
100%. That was like
Falcons, like especially when we got in the 7th and 8th grade.
That's why I started cheerleading.
Those cheerleading flag football games, you guys used to beat the crap out of each other.
Hey, yo,
I
remember Daisy.
They always favored the 8th graders. They let shit slide so the 8th graders
I think I coached the only 8th grade girls team that ever lost a flag football game in Streamwood Falcon history.
You remember when we had to dress up like the cheerleader?
Girls.
Hey, yo, Austin, you remember, hold on, you remember Daisy and what was it? It was Falcons. I think it was
115.
It was 115 for powder puff. My man was out here like Tracy Morgan and fucking what is it? The longest yard. Daisy was out here. Daisy was
Everybody was.
Like, no, we wasn't.
My mom sent me a picture, Daisy, low key, of us like in powder
Daisy
puff,
was
bro.
too
It
hype
ain't a
in
good
the front.
look. It's not a good look.
Daisy was too hype in the front, dog.
Is like cross-dressing powder puff still a thing, or is that not like
Daisy loved? Are you saying Daisy like cross-dressing?
Daisy might have put some blush on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine. That's A-okay. That's
you know what? I put on makeup before, so it's whatever.
Get them big old fake titties in that cheer shell.
I've walked runway,
no, that's
Charles.
Just funny, though.
I've walked runway where that had to have makeup put on my face.
Of course.
So shut up, please.
I've had makeup on too. I've been on camera.
Thank you.
Like you're doing. If you're doing like actual journalism,
because you know what,
you get put into makeup because
you know what, Charles, I'm tired of the haterade. I'm tired of the haterade. You over here coming at them. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? A man like me could wear makeup. You want to know why? One, because it just makes me look more pretty. Two, it's for a purpose. And four, most importantly, this episode is all about haters, y'all. I'm just.
Isn't every hold on? Isn't every episode of your show about Daisy's haters?
I got a lot of them, Johnny. I'm glad you recognize. Man, I got a lot.
Suburban Kings episode 325. I'm working on my 300.
Yeah, I never want to hear you coming at me talk about mental health again, bro. With all these hater episodes you got, Daisy.
You see what I'm saying? I'm sipping on some high quality haterade.
Episode number 300 and something.
Hey man, as long as you know, man, the people hate. They hate because they hate because I'm not negative, man. I'm not always down in the dumps, man. They hate because they can't be me. You know, it's a hard thing to be a young, intelligent.
I don't think anyone said that.
It's a hard thing to be a young, intelligent African-American man. Said that. This episode goes out to the person who bumped into me at Mariano's, knocked my shit out my cart, rude as fuck, ignorant as hell. Yo,
no, this is
what you think about that? What you think about
Daisy,
that?
Shout out. This goes out to the white comedian's joke that ruined my day.
That's all I have to say. It's hard out here being me. Royalty.
Will Ferrell, you ruined my man. You fucking hate your ass. All right, stop doing comedy.
Hey, bro, you see how it is? It's hard. It's hard. You see when you that upper echelon, man. You know, it's just.
I want to thank God for giving everybody else so much and giving me so little. Hey. I hate you. I hate you. I don't
Daisy,
even
you know what they say, though,
you.
man.
I don't know what they say. Charles.
You become the thing that you hate the most, and you just become a hater of white comedy, bro. That's crazy.
How do I hate?
That man said
Bill Burr wasn't funny.
Bill Burr wasn't funny.
I'm a young, progressive black male.
Okay, you don't gotta add the progressive. I mean, it's
progressive.
Progressive. Hate, triple hate.
Trying to become an emotionally intelligent man. You know what I'm saying? I support the women. Again, progressive. I'm highly fashionable.
Shout out, Rachel.
I am trying to build this community with you guys. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Lord have mercy. Look at y'all.
Get in the episode.
I'm just waiting for him to say. I'm just waiting for him to say that he's top player hater from Korea.
No, I don't need to. I'm not Charlie Murphy. R.I.P.
You bitches better recognize.
Shout out Charlie Murphy, the legend. Charlie Murphy is a legend.
Charlie Murphy.
That man is the legend, yo.
Honestly, I would love to see Deji, like when they played that game in the Player Haters Ball where they just had the pictures and all the haters got around and just started hating on whoever was on the card. And it's like got to Puffy. It's like, they say you don't want to see me shine, but he sure looks shiny to me. Like, I just would love to see you guys like just roast people.
Deji,
like
you should have had the toothpick for this. You should have the toothpick.
Man, I should have. It would have built it up.
Damn.
So the reason why this idea came to my head of haters, it's not because I think people are hating me. Actually, it was the underlying theme behind haters, and it's jealousy. That's the actual reason why I wanted to talk about it and how we deal. You all think I'm crazy sometimes, but I be having a method to this madness. So the reason why I think our haters are a thing is because we're all jealous in one way or not. So I just want to dive deeper in how we deal with that jealousy and how we stop ourselves from being jealous, while at the same time learning about Triple J Sports, because that's a very unique entity, and I would love to partner with them because we already have. So, guys, please explain to me your first situation or interaction where you realized that you yourself were a hater.
I'm just curious as to why Johnny grabbed his guitar.
I needed something. It's making me sit straight up.
Okay.
Wait, so you want us like Bob Dylan to tell you when we've been a hater?
Yes, because the first part of acknowledging your jealousy or anything is realizing that you yourself.
It's a acceptance.
I can get started on this first because I'm constantly being told I'm a hater.
Go ahead, Johnny. Okay. Yeah, you are on Twitter. Twitter, Johnny's a hater.
Social media, Johnny is a hater. You know, actually, the other day I actually deleted the Facebook app from my phone because it was just making me mad. It was like legit threatening my mental health. It was like putting me in a not good place because I just see so much BS shared and all that stuff. But that's a whole different topic. I think that a lot of people who are haters are also critical thinkers because especially when it comes to consumable art like music, TV, movies, radio, or whatever, I'm not a passive consumer of any of those things. I am constantly questioning like what made them do this, what made them do that. And I'm really like that with music as a musician. And I can't really just take anything on the surface level of why anybody does anything in music. And I kind of wish I would love to hear what music sounds like to somebody who doesn't play an instrument, because it would be like, great to not have that. It would be great to just go into it and be like, oh yeah, this sounds cool. Instead of like, oh, that's a derivative 1-5-6-4 chord progression or something stupid like that. But the other thing is, it's so easy to take any criticism and say you're being a hater. And I think that's bullshit, because what it does, especially with art, like television, radio, anything that I mentioned, any kind of art, is that it's meant to be criticized if it is published. Criticism isn't always bad. It can be good too. It's just like, it's like when somebody puts out an album and everybody's like, oh, this is trash. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's so easy just to judge people and you don't have any musical talent. Like, you know what? If you're afraid of your art being criticized, you don't have to publish it. And that's okay. You can make art just for yourself. You don't have to start an Etsy store when you start painting. You don't have to take pictures of your stuff and put it on social media. Now, are people unnecessarily mean on social media, especially to people who are just starting out with stuff? Yes, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like if I don't know, I'm talking, for instance, like if 6ix9ine had his little comeback video today, and I'll go on.
I didn't even give that no.
I'll see it and I'll react to it and say, this dude's garbage. He's always been garbage. He's always going to be garbage. You're like, you're just a hater. No, dude, I can't offer up a negative opinion to you because you love him so much. People seem to forget that, like, these artists and whoever, they're not your friends. They don't know you exist. So why are you, why are you simping for Tekashi 6ix9ine, or why are you simping for NBA Youngboy? Why are you simping for Taylor Swift? Any artist, really. I simp for artists.
NBA Youngboy got hits.
Like, I simp for stuff I like every once in a while, and then I have to like take a step back and be like, damn, dude, like like I have a bunch of artists who I grew up loving who are objectively bad people. Like, for the love of God, I grew up in the pop punk scene.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Creeps and perverts. Like,
you weren't gonna ask me?
Austin, mute yourself, bro. Oh my God.
Why he just freak out?
Hey,
oh my
God. I muted him on my show. Wednesday because he was talking over Rachel. I gave him the around the horn mute and took 2 points away from him.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't realize he's on a podcast sometimes.
Did it?
Like, goddamn, bro. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn,
but I feel like with music, it's hard because it's subjective, though. So it's just like, and especially if you feel like that music.
I'm talking about a guy like Jesse Lacey, who's a legit creep. Like, so many of these guys were like grooming 15-year-old girls and doing objectively bad things that no one can really defend.
It was a culture back then.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's nasty, you can make that argument, but you can also say, like, you can also make the argument that you can also make the argument that you can separate the art from the artist.
Yep.
And me, sometimes, most times, I'm not able to do that.
I'll give you an example. XXX Tentacion. Everyone thinks he's a piece of shit as a human, and I'm just like, all right, that's cool. Like, I just kind of like fuck with his music. He has some pretty good songs, in my opinion, but obviously everyone just thinks he's a piece of shit as a human, and I don't really care if you do or not. But when it comes to like people, when you are such a hater that like when he got shot and died, like motherfuckers was being like, oh, he deserved this. He died because of what he did or whatever. I'm just like, I mean, maybe you could say karma, maybe, but it had nothing to do with that situation. Though. Like, I'm telling you, people were actually saying that this man's died because so-and-so's cousins killed him or whatever, that he did the abuse to, like, his ex-girlfriend or whatever. And I was like, yo, motherfucker. It was literally a random robbery. And I remember just getting in a heated argument over that.
Isn't that karma? So, like, all the times he beat on a woman?
No, but that's what I was saying. Like, you could chalk that up to karma. But they were saying it was, like, an intended hit because of what happened.
You know? I understand.
I don't know. I think karma's one of those comfort things that people say to make themselves feel better, like, in the moment. I don't really...
People don't even understand what is karma? Is that part of Buddhism or what is it?
It's part of Buddhism and Taoism.
See, so people don't even. When people say that stuff, I'd be like, "Do you understand the religion that you're referencing, or are you just saying that?"
But that's it's something that makes people feel better. It's just right. Like, for me, this is my own personal belief. It's just like the idea of like heaven and hell. It's something. It's a comfort object for a lot of people who who need that in their life to keep them going. And that's not an indictment on faith. That's just a lot of people would be so lost without that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And they openly say, like, I wouldn't know what to do without it. Now, I don't really believe in heaven or hell. I don't know. I'm not going to be out here and say I'm certain about it, because there's no way to be certain about it. And I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to religious beliefs, but it's like, it's a lot like that. So it's like, for me, when I hear like, oh, that's karma, like, do you think that there's just some force in the universe that's coming to knock people down? Like, and it's always like for a lot of times some petty BS, like, oh yeah, this girl dumped you and now she's with an ugly dude who's broke. That's karma. No, it's not. Like, there are Ugandan warlords who don't have karma coming to them. There are oligarchs in Russia. There are people in America who are way worse for the world than the girl that cut you off and then had a ticket written to her. So where's all that karma?
But this ties into like the hate thing though. When you are just such a hater,
but you can
say he's a piece of shit over there. When he dies though, wasn't even. I think he just turned 20. He wasn't even 20. He was like 19.
I think you're both getting off topic though. So like the real reason.
No, but it relates back to hate though, Deji. That's all I'm saying. Like,
the hate comes from somewhere, right? So the hate is because you're jealous of how he's living. Like, he has millions. He has
how successfully. Yeah.
He's celebrity. I guess. Yeah. So you're mad because you're not in that visit.
No, what if you don't care about any of that? What if you genuinely don't care about
why
that?
would you comment and say such a thing as karma if you're not?
I just don't like speaking on the dead unless they're pedophiles.
If you're not jealous about how he got to it. Because everybody at the end of the day, you live in America, right? So situations like 6ix9ine, you're saying that, oh, he was bound to get robbed. He was bound, even if you want to go for Pop Smoke, because that happened to him. People talk about Pop Smoke and like how he shouldn't have had on the IG Live where he was staying at, and then people blah 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 robbed him, and then he ended up dying because he got robbed.
No, that's a stupid way of using that, yo.
It's the same thing. Also,
no,
a random occurrence. It's a random occurrence.
No.
People are jealous. So if somebody's gonna come up to your house, Charles, after they saw on your story that you in an Airbnb where you made the address visible, and because they want to rob you and take the life that you have, that's not a factor of being.
Hold on, no. That is definitely a factor of being a hater.
That's what I'm talking like.
But I thought you were talking about karma being that way.
Oh no,
like people were using karma as him dying because he did with the IG Live.
But
but
what I'm saying is that not all aspect of hating on something is driven by jealousy. I just don't believe that.
I don't believe that either. I mean, I guess it depends.
I'm not saying
because my dad wasn't.
What I'm saying
is that R. Kelly, and he hated R. Kelly like before all this shit, yo.
Right, but that's a different case, and that's preference, all right? So what I'm talking
No, I mean, he just has 3 daughters, and he just fucking hated R. Kelly because he knew the piece of shit he was.
That's still preference, Charles. That's still preference. I prefer not to listen to a child molester pedophile because that's my preference.
No, dude, you're just jealous because that child molester pedophile has jillions of dollars.
Okay, now you're making my
argument. But there will be that goes to Johnny's argument though. There'll be people on Twitter who will be like, y'all just some haters.
You're making my argument extreme.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And that was.
But
not
are you
my
trying
question.
to get down to the root of all hate?
No, I'm not. I mean,
jealousy and envy.
Exactly my point. So, like, how do we?
But what's the difference? What's the difference between hate and? What's the difference between hate and then digesting something as a piece of art, thinking it through, and then criticizing it for what it is? Where does that line get crossed?
Your intention.
When you come at a stand, I think that's when that line gets crossed.
I literally was gonna say what Rachel said. It's just intention, right? So at the end of the day, if you can admit that it's still a good body of work and acknowledge the work, actually, if you can admit,
Jesus is trash.
That's fine. It is trash. But if you can admit the body of work that went into it, which is fine, we all have to admit the labor that went into the project, or whatever the art form is, or whatever the work. Like, it could be. I don't even care if it's corporate America. It's the same shit. What I'm trying to say is that you have to be able to understand that in your criticism, if you start to draw the line between where you're starting to attack the person's character or you're trying to attack the person instead of what is actually being produced by that person, that's where it draws the line.
Well, I'll give you an example here. Jeff Bezos. He said corporate America.
What about it?
He's a guy who has arguably created one of the most revolutionary, shopping and commerce platforms in the history of humankind.
Right.
But he's a guy who also has so much wealth and is asking his employees to share sick days with each other so he doesn't have to pay them. He's asking his customers to donate to charity.
Okay, so what are you asking me though? I'm
saying, so am I hating on when I point that stuff out? Am I a hater of Jeff Bezos?
No.
Or am I
no, because what you said is on his body.
You're hating on the action that he's doing. No,
I can make it real simple. What you're hating on is the body of the work, because you're literally referencing the employees, which are hired by Amazon, and I guess if we want to be,
Whole Foods as well.
Right, Whole Foods as well. I hate to say it this way, but owns them in a sense, because you can fire them and you can promote them. You can do whatever you want at your own leisure. Mm-hmm. That product is, those people are what has helped boosted your product to such an extent that it's revolutionary. So for me, I feel like you are in full control to say, hey, I'm going to hate on this real quick because you're not helping the people that you quote unquote, because at the end of the day, when you work in a retail job, it's slavery. I mean, all jobs are a form of slavery if you want to be real about it. I mean, but that's a different argument. We could go
indentured servitude.
Indentured servitude. We could, I guess,
I don't know about slavery. Yeah.
Charles, the NBA and the NFL and MLB have a draft. You know what? You know where they did that? I mean, like,
that's not slavery to get paid millions of dollars a year, baby. It's not slavery. It's not slavery.
Anytime somebody can tell you how to jump and how high is slavery. But that's a different argument. Again, let's not do this. I don't care about it. It's a different argument.
The NFL, NBA, all that. That's.
I agree
that's socialism. Actually,
the way that it's constructed, yes, they could treat you like
I feel like this
you're
is
their slave because you signed a contract.
Let's not go left. Let's not go left because we don't need to talk about this. It's about jealousy and haters today. All right, let's go. Let's remember. Let's remain focused. Rachel, what were you about to say?
I was going to say, I feel like the difference between being a hater or hating and criticism is that typically a criticism is upon one specific thing or item or personality trait, whereas hating is more generalized and more aimed at the entire entity than a certain component of that entity. So if you're going into an art show as like an actual person who's open-minded and you're like, you know what, I really like this body of work, however I feel XYZ, that's different than walking in, looking around and be like, you know what, this is trash, I don't even like this guy, like, let's bounce. There's completely
what am I looking
different.
At? What are these
so it depends
lines?
on the line between hating and criticism is incredibly different, and it just depends on if it's being more generalized and you're just being stupid, or if you actually care and are evaluating the work that was put into it.
I guess if you go on to a closed-minded, it's already, you're going to be like a crazy hater.
Okay, so
like, you know what I'm saying?
Here's a question I have.
If you don't objectively look at something.
Here's a question I have for just everybody. We are all podcasters. We are all people that produce content. We are all people that are making works to be criticized. How do you feel about it when you get negative criticism? Or how would you feel if you were to get negative criticism about our bodies and our projects of creative work? Austin, you're on mute, by the way.
I mean, it obviously doesn't feel good when you get criticized. You know, you're not going to create work that you don't think is good or that you wouldn't be proud of. So obviously, you know, it kind of stings a little bit. But at the same hand, like the people that are providing criticism are only trying to help you be better versus the people that are providing hate and just don't care. They just want to shit on you. So if someone's actually providing criticism, like, yeah, it'll sting a little bit, but they're just trying to make you be better. And so you need to take that and you need to roll with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
I've had my work criticized before as a artist, and it does sting a little bit, but when you go into it, you've got to know that's part of the game. That there are going to be people who, you know,
you put that out there to get judged.
And you can sniff out the people who are just hating real fast, who are just hating to hate or trying to get the dunk on Twitter or trying to get, you know, the most likes on Facebook. But if someone was like, you know, hey, I really don't like this song that much because it's a little too repetitive and you rely on this same arpeggio and you could really like change it up with, you know, the drum beat is too consistent, then you know that's criticism that comes from a place of knowledge and a place of actually being even if they're not trying to with the intent to make you a better artist, that's at least that they're digesting your work and they're having some sort of connection with it, that rather than just like, this shit sucks, or like, you know, I don't know, Wonder Years called, they want their everything back. Like, I don't know.
It's almost just like saying hip hop's dead, like a lot of people like to say.
Yeah,
they just hate on it, even though there's mad lyricists out here just doing their thing.
Yeah, there are.
Lyrics. It's just like y'all just really only focusing on one type of music, which can be a vibe. I don't think that music's completely bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chris Brown, Young Thug tape just dropped. That shit is fire. You know what I'm saying?
Rachel brought up something, or somebody brought up something, was like being criticized for like your appearance and the way that you look, and I think that's completely different. And as I've gotten older, that is so like why people take the time out of their day to criticize somebody's appearance or the way they look, unless
Speak
it's
about it.
like
about it.
Unless it's like something.
I mean, if you're just making jokes, it's just like it is what it is.
That's different. Know your KYP. Know your personnel in that situation. You can still say something that does hurt somebody's feelings. So I'm talking about like random people on the internet being like, body shaming, all that stuff. Like, if there's a difference between going onto someone's like page and like hating on like somebody who's like wearing a swimsuit and someone saying like you're too fat for a two-piece, and like going on seeing a picture of Lady Gaga in a meat suit on Twitter from like 2009 being like,
just killing her for wearing that bullshit.
She crazy. Like, it depends on, are you trying to provoke a reaction or not? If you're somebody who's just genuinely trying to be like, hey, I want to be like everybody else who posts swimsuit pictures, and you've got people in the comments being like, yo, you're too fat, cover up. That's
like Lizzo. That's just gonna be the perfect example that we could go to. Lizzo. Everyone just hates on Lizzo, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really.
But you could also go the reverse now, which is so crazy, right? So
that everybody loves on Lizzo over the top.
I don't want to see anybody wearing that type of outfit.
No, I was gonna say. So I was gonna say like Adele.
Regardless of what size you are. Oh, Adele lost a bunch of weight, right?
Got smashed by people who are plus size obese, because she lost all the weight. They were like, why wouldn't you just keep the weight? Why wouldn't you love the way you look? Yada yada. And I'm just like, why are we even? This is this woman's life, right? So in my head, I'm like, yo, at this point,
she did what she had to do to get healthy, man.
Whatever. I mean, but people of that size don't want to hear that, Charles. So that's what I'm trying
Adele's always
I know, but like,
first and foremost.
What? Say it one more time, Johnny. I didn't hear.
Adele has always been gorgeous, first and foremost. Like, no matter what size she was at, she's just a very attractive person.
I think that's the point that people need to understand, right? It didn't matter if she was 250 or if she's like her current weight, which is like, I don't even can't tell, 130, 120. It doesn't matter, right? The point is that she chose to do something, right? I mean, she probably didn't even feel insecure about it. She probably was like, I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to get what I feel like I want in my life, right? She's going through a divorce, right? But it seems that like in our, and I'm speaking
that dude took a lot of money off her too.
Right, bro.
I don't know if that was fully real though. It might be.
It's real, bro. It's real. She didn't sign no prenup. So by that default, like he was there to help you through every trial.
By default, she a chump.
Yeah, but like by default, like every song she had, somebody had to hear it. Like every event, he had to be at it. I mean, like he couldn't chase his career because she had a mega career. That's the same thing women pull. Like we can't be biased about it, bro. But to my point, I'm trying to figure out like what makes us as a society. And everybody does it. Like, I'll be the first one to say it. Bro, I used to hate on brown-skinned men because I used to think that, like, my dark skin was less than appealing for whatever reason. Now, I mean, you can't tell me no different.
You hate on light-skinned people?
I don't hate on light-skinned people. I really don't. I used to just
I
used to hate on fair-skinned black people because I felt like everybody thought their skin was nicer than mine. But I mean, now you can't tell me no different. But that's just because I've grown to accept it and love my skin.
Well, I think for a long time that's not a very uncommon thing, Deji. I mean, I remember
that's what I'm saying.
When I was growing up, like especially like in the reign of hip hop videos in the late '90s and early 2000s, like it was always like the light skinned girl who was the goddess, and then like the darker skinned girl was like the background dancer wearing the least amount of clothing, who was like always the most voluptuous. There was definitely a stereotype and a typecast to be found there. That's one thing I think that we're getting right as we go on by the years, is that we are looking at body positivity in a good light. And yeah, there's an overcorrection because there are people out there that are like, 500-600 pounds or whatever on TV being like, yeah, body positivity. There's a difference between being so unhealthy, and then there's a difference between like having some sort of self-love. Now, why we need to attach self-love and self-contentment to the way that we look. I think that just speaks to how materialistic of a society that we've always been.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we have so much more value than what we look like on the outside. But I say that as somebody who has struggled with weight my entire life, and as somebody who's saying that as somebody who has struggled to embrace any sort of self-positivity for things beyond appearance as well. So it's a fight, and it's a sliding scale, and it's a fight that I think everybody needs to fight to have some sort of a better life. So, but yeah, haters.
Man, gotta love them, bro. You gotta love them, because the biggest thing about it is, like, when you reach the end of the rainbow, you know, you cross the other side of the street, and you realize that those haters have something that they hate. And hey, let the sayings fly, Charles.
That was a short ass rainbow. That was a short ass rainbow. You went from when you get to the other side of the rainbow when you cross the street, like.
But this is imagery. It's called imagery.
Somewhere.
You know,
I was just saying it was a short rainbow to cross.
You know, I was in honors English, AP English, imagery. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the point is that, like, we all have moments of haterade in us, right? It's just up to us to choose whether we want to express it.
To check yourself, yo.
To check ourselves. But we also really realize that when you reach the end of that rainbow, like I said, you know, Lucky Charms, get your pot of gold. You learn that all these hating is just, most of it is like, it's like self-inflicted. So a lot of it is just making sure that you ground yourself and being able to, like, understand that, like, look, ain't nobody gonna be me. And me is the best thing in the world. And I feel like we all need to get to that point, even as a society. Bro, if you look at every other country, bro, plus size is like the standard of beauty. But in America, they ask you to damn near be anorexic. It doesn't make any sense.
What? Hold on.
Yeah, I want to call BS on that.
You're right.
You're saying in Europe plus size is like, hold on.
I was saying that from my argument. I was saying that from my argument.
He just stopped that real quick. He was like, no, hold on.
He was like, okay, I said that, and I realized
you work in the fashion world. Like, what are you saying?
It's countries like Africa. You could go like lesser developed countries like Brazil. I get it. You get it. You right? I can say we got to go on and on about the list. The point is that, like, at the end of the day, body, skin type, this shit don't matter, really. It really don't. It just matters about the character of the person you are. Yes, there's going to be more attractive people than others, but, like, why? What is bringing the hate? I don't know. I don't really care. And that's why sometimes it's crazy how we, in this society, we feed into negativity, but we don't understand why we feed into the negativity, because you yourself are already a product of the negativity.
You know, Rachel had a really good post on this earlier today or late last night on her Instagram. And I feel like she hit the nail on the head on, especially on negativity at the, like, aimed one person sort of thing. And I think that there's another end of the pendulum of haters, because there are, Deji, what you said is 100% true, but you also tempered it with something that's accountability. Because for so long, I felt like the whole, like, haters make me famous attitude that I grew up with in high school, like, the whole, like, that whole, like, social media 1.5 culture, like, that was going on, the whole, you know, I heart haters stuff, is what it did. Was it made people not accountable for themselves, because they could just say, oh, they're haters, and they didn't act contrite, or they didn't think about how their actions affected other people. I would like to think that we're beyond that now. But but Rach, could you talk about that a little bit? Like, what drove you to post what you posted last night that definitely touched me in a way?
Yeah, so for those that haven't seen it, I posted 2 pictures with a really long caption about, like, weight loss journeys, basically. To an extent also, a basic white bitch. I have 2 Instagrams. One's a Finsta that only has like 30 people on it, that I basically, and Cody, like, hit the nail on the head. I basically, like, use it to just shit on myself, because I don't feel like there's a lot of places that women can negatively critique ourselves in a safe environment. And that's what a lot of Finstas are for women. So I previously had just like posted you like, hey, you know, I'm like super heavy. I don't like the fact that I'm super heavy. I want to do something about it. And then 10 days later, I went through a like depressive swing and I was in a slump and I stopped working out and then I started gaining more weight. And that was just like all that it was. I would just shit on myself and then give up and then be like, no, guys, like I'm really going to do it this time, and then give up. But I wasn't holding myself accountable because I knew the people that I was sharing it with weren't going to do anything about it or like really.
It's just more of a sounding board.
Yeah, it was more of a sounding board. And so I decided, you know, with the wedding coming up and just being tired of being tired, like I'm tired of feeling bad about myself. Like I'm tired of every single week that we record, I have to get upstairs and get ready for an hour because I'm going to be on video and people are going to see me and I want to hide my double chin. And I want to do my hair because if I don't, like, once someone told me I look like a boy with my hair up, so I don't ever wear my hair up on the podcast.
Can you show me how to hide a double chin with makeup? Because
yeah, you put darker makeup under here and you blend it in so it looks like there's a shadow.
Is it called like the same thing to make people's noses look smaller than that?
Hey Charles, how you know about that? Why you talk about me wanting to wear makeup and skirts and shit?
Because I've talked to many females who have just wanted to be makeup connoisseurs, you know what I'm saying?
Right. How can
you know what I'm saying? But I ain't never wore makeup really in my life. My dad stopped all that when he saw my sisters trying to put Everclear on my nails as a little kid, and my dad's like, "What the hell are y'all doing?" My dad lost his mind.
Go cut a switch.
Okay, so Rachel, you were saying.
That I just decided that I would kind of post it on my bigger Instagram that has anyone I've pretty much ever known on it, from current work colleagues to people that I've known since I was like 10, like literally across the board, and just like be super honest, because especially with body positivity, like you said, there's people that are promoting, you know, large women, there's people that are promoting like being skinny and doing these workout challenges. And I think the important thing of like doing these challenges and posting that you're doing it is that you're not doing it like you're trying to do it for yourself. You're not trying to do it for anyone else. Like I said, I am the queen of self-deprecation. Like I always make fun of myself and talk about how I'm unattractive or fat or a bridge troll or a tree stump, because it hurts less to me. And I think I said this exactly in my post. It hurts less to me if I say it about myself because I already think other people are saying it. And so if I hear it from myself, if I were to hear it from them, it would hurt less.
The fat Amy / fat Patricia from Pitch Perfect argument. Yeah. And definitely I feel you. Definitely that was definitely a coping mechanism for me as a youngster as well. And for guys, it's just like, well, I got to carve out my niche as the funny guy.
Yep.
So it's that's kind of helpy.
Gotta have
I mean, I guess
let's
one thing about that, because I was born with a birth defect. I kind of have like a lazy eye, kind of like depending on how it goes since birth. So it's kind of just like you kind of just got to get that tough skin and just get through it. To be honest, that's one thing you just kind of got to do. But
you hear that a lot.
I ain't noticed that.
I mean, the doctor who did surgery on me kind of like fucking helped me as a child. But like when I was like from 2 to 3, I had to have like 2 surgeries. Because I forgot, I like had to get all my medical records from when I was younger, because I kind of wanted to get surgery to just try to fix it. But I remember ever since I was little, my dad was literally telling me, he's like, you're gonna have to live with this, man. Like you can't let this shit depress you or just like get you down, because it is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's up to you to build up that confidence in yourself, but it's not easy to do that. Like, and the same thing goes with like with the weight loss, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people fat shame, and hopefully it's motivation to help people like lose weight. But like, if the intention is good, like I don't ever want to see any of my people get to like my 600-pound life type of shit.
Exactly.
Man.
Of course.
Just because that's like really unhealthy. But if you're just a little overweight, like I got a fucking beer gut, man. Like, come on, man.
This is the thing. If you're ever commenting on someone's appearance, not only their weight, but just like how they look physically, something they have no control over, it is no one's place to comment on it. Even if your intentions are good, like, hey, you know, I noticed you gained a little bit of weight and I think you should work on it because that could be unhealthy. No, it's no one's place to say that. There are 2 people in the world who are ever allowed to comment on your weight, and it is yourself and your doctor for medical reasons. That's it. No one is allowed to say, you know, Adele looks great. She lost a lot of weight. But, you know, Lizzo also looks great because, you know, body positivity. Like, it doesn't matter. You're not allowed to comment on their weight.
Yeah.
If you look at a picture, you can
I mess with her confidence.
Happy.
If you look great, you look great.
I like the confidence he has.
I
what I'm saying? But
I like the point that you just said, Charles, that it's up to you to instill that confidence. Because I still do it to this day, man. Every time I say that I love being a dark skin, it's because I'm doing that every day. Like, I love the fact that I'm a dark skinned man.
That's good though, man. Just because there was a lot of dark skin hate back in the day, man.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
At least like in America.
I remember what they were saying that
dark skinned motherfucker.
Of course.
I mean, it really is still.
I remember back in the day that like people would used to say that like light skin is back in style. Like I still remember that. Or like I remember that. I remember all that stuff. And I was like, bro, like what the hell? Like sometimes you get like a false sense of like insecurity for no reason, right? Like there's no reason that like with this dark skin, right?
In other countries and in other cultures there that have, darker pigmentation, there is a beauty standard where to be too dark is to not be beautiful. And that was especially big in India for a very long time and in other Southeast Asian countries. And only like recently were you starting to see like models make it out of there and be like, oh my God, like I think it was a few years ago, it was like a Miss Universe thing. And it was a big deal that Miss India did so well because she was supposedly considered too dark to be beautiful. And I was just like, what the, like, she fine as hell. Like, what the hell?
Right.
But
it's perception. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's perception. So, and let me turn this way. Let me just hold on, because we haven't heard from the white man. I mean, maybe there hasn't been a comedic moment from him.
What are you talking about? I've been talking about this whole show.
No, I mean,
no. You're a white man, but there's the white man. So,
okay.
Yes.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Hey,
he's texting right now.
Austin J.
Right now.
I'm gonna need you to have to sound off on this, man.
He's been clocked out, yo.
Soundboard. I need to hear what you got.
I sent one text. What do you mean?
Shit. Spend 10 minutes on that shit.
What? I had to take a piss. I don't say anything when you go to the bathroom all the time.
I have never.
What? When we talk about like the journeys and all this stuff and like feeling good and feeling better about yourself, like what? And this is going to be such a shitty thing to say, but like, and I've wondered this myself. It's like, what if all that happens and I still don't like me? Like,
I've never liked me.
Where do I go from there? Thank you, Austin.
Donnie, I think
I've never liked me.
Austin I just put it up on a tee, and Austin, hit it on the ground and beat out an infield single, just like every play in his softball career.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if it goes to the outfield.
That's why I
he's
make
on
the
first.
All-Star team. That's why I make the All-Star team.
You were second team in a down year.
Oh, all
right, stop
you
the
don't give me
madness.
any credit.
I'll give you a pop up to the face.
Oh my God, that was
that's
low.
not right. I almost went blind.
That was low.
Don't act like
terrible.
that was funny.
Hey,
you were terrified.
Who was the one who ran that ice pack out to you?
Yeah, you were terrified.
I was.
Almost lost an eye. Fuck his ice pack. That's like putting a band-aid. That's like putting a band-aid on a severed leg.
I was like millimeters away from just being permanently blind.
I just don't get how it happened. It was in the air for like 7 seconds.
Yeah, man. You know what happens when you're not going 100%? You go lazy on plays and you get almost blinded. That's what happens.
That's a Cal Cumminsism.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going 100%.
You get hurt when you play this game.
The moon and the sun come up every day. Are you gonna bring it every day?
Wow,
that's the question.
Answer the question.
Are you going to be the sprinter who puffs his chest out to get across the finish line every single time?
Answer the question, Austin J. This is what he
does. Boiling point.
You're enabling him. You're enabling him right now, Johnny.
Sorry. Okay, I'll back off.
If you don't
I am intently listening.
Yeah, Austin J. What happens when you do all the work and you still don't like yourself?
What did you want me to answer?
That's the question he asked. He said, "What happens if you still do all the work and you still don't like yourself?"
You go in a dark room and you go talk to yourself like, man. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Come on.
I know you are.
We just talked about it last episode.
I know you are. But this is not about depression. This is about accepting your flaws.
Yeah, but they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, look at y'all two.
Look
Look at y'all two.
They do go hand in hand, though, because if you hate yourself and you feel like nothing's getting better, it just
well,
goes
what if
into
it's
your
not?
depression.
What if it's not quite? Well, what if it's still not quite hate? What if it's just like discontentment? Like I feel like we always talk about this self-love and extreme. You either love or hate yourself. And what if it's just like a dull ache rather than a, oh my God, my bone's poking through the skin? Because that dull ache over a long period of time wears on people.
I tell you, Johnny, this is what you got to do. You literally have to remind yourself of the good. And I mean this so because this is me. That's
you know what I do?
That's
I
my main
look
struggle.
at old. If it's for working out things, I literally go look at old pictures of myself and I go, "That's who you used to be."
He's sitting there. He's sitting there with like the Wolverine meme.
That's
just
no, it's not. But for me,
Austin.
it is not. What I do,
Austin,
I go look at old photos of myself. I go, yeah. Like, you're going to do this. And actually, it does work because I've been working out way more the last couple months because I literally have a goal to be what I was, like, at a certain point in life.
And I'm really glad, glad that works for you. And you also tempered that with it works for me. And we're not one size.
No, I was saying you wanted me to answer, like, if I'm down and everything, like, and that still doesn't work, that's what I do. I either go look back in the past, or I go back to the drawing board and I go figure out something else that'll work. But what I'm saying is,
I have a loaded question.
I think I could give you an answer on that, Johnny.
Go ahead.
Just because if you do all that and you literally just still hate yourself or whatever, I guess the best thing to do in that moment is to find something. Because a lot of people, obviously, I mean, this is gonna sound really dark. Like they go through that and they just can't. They're no longer on this earth just because they ended, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean,
just because shit gets that dark. But I'm saying,
I was not gonna say it.
No, it's a very real thing.
We gotta be real.
No, I know,
say
but like I was not trying to make this another dark episode.
The best thing you could do is try to.
There's been plenty of humor.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost selfish in a way, just to self-care. I mean, it's literally the definition of selfish. But I think in that moment you kind of got to look to things that are not you, that make you care to still like be motivated. You know what I'm saying? You got to look for other things for motivation. Like
I would guess that as well.
I went through some, I'm just
like some people.
I went through dark times.
Well,
and
it's
I
like
just
when
never
some
could
people,
go through with it just because I thought about my family's reaction and everything, and I was like, nah, that'd be terrible.
Well, it's like whenever you hear like athletes talk about like they lose their will after they're done competing. Some people constantly need a goal to look towards.
Like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, some people constantly need a new challenge or something like that, and I think that comes to be a part of it. Is that like that? I think that we have to accept ourselves is that up until the point we die, we're not finished products. That you're never too old.
Facts. There you go.
Shit. That might be it.
Unless you're Joe Biden.
No, shut up.
I'm sorry. I just had to get that off, man.
I know you did. I know that's not right. It's not right, man.
Well, and that's the thing is, I want to talk. That's a great time that you made that joke because there are a lot of people who were really bad people at one point in their life, and then they do whatever they do. There's still time for them to change up until their last breath. Now, does that mean that they should be able to run for public office or be the CEO of a multinational company that's publicly owned? Not necessarily, but I do think that for the most part, most people still deserve some sort of redemption or absolution as long as they're contrite and really sorry for what they did. And that, I think, even extends to murderers and pederasts and whatever. It's just that you should, if you're a murderer or a pederast, you should be contrite from your jail cell away from everybody else.
And if you're literally trying everything to reverse all the damage you've done.
Yeah, okay. And if you're Joe Biden, first and foremost, I believe Tara
Wait,
Reid.
hold on. Before we go down this route, because this is not this.
We don't got to get political with it.
Let's stop it.
I don't think there's anything political about.
Oh no, what you're
somebody,
saying?
What I'm saying is
crack laws.
Well, no, I don't know. No, I'm not even talking about that.
Well, I'm not. I don't care about that. I don't care about political nothing.
We should not politicize when a woman comes forward and says she was sexually assaulted by her boss.
Johnny, I'm trying to give you time. You're right.
Sorry.
I was trying to give you time to publicize yourself. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we've gotten to the end of this wrap up.
Okay.
No, I'm saying that as for the royalty because I'm speaking to them now. Man, we've got heavy hitters, haters. We all had our moments, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We all deal with it in our own ways, but at the core, it just comes to us being insecure in ourselves, as we've seen. Now, however,
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard our testimony, right? It's royalty. I ask, one, that y'all do the time and y'all figure it out on your own. And let's just
You got a lot of time lately.
A lot of time, but my most important thing is that I just want everybody to believe in themselves, believe in y'all journeys, believe in who you guys are, and most importantly, believe in change, because change is inevitable. And us being willing to accept that change is probably the most important thing, because you hold yourself back when you can't accept change. Now it comes to this very important moment, probably the most important segment of this show, because we have a young man, executive producer of the Suburban Keys podcast, who is going on this wonderful journey that we like to call podcasting. He's taking his own route. He's doing his own Young Dunk Dizzle. Triple J Sports, with him and his two other cohorts. I said that right.
Yeah, it's not on my own, because those guys are with me 100% of the way. Triple J Sports on Facebook. We are facebook.com/Triple J Sports Chicago. It started out as a project where what it was originally going to be was my old newspaper contacted me because they launched a website called Friday Night Drive that covered all of Illinois high school football. And I told them, hey, I have a broadcast background. If you guys want to do a streamed game of the week, you have yourself a play-by-play guy right in your back pocket. So he's like, okay, well, we don't know about that, but here, send me your air check anyway. He heard my air check and was like, oh, damn, yeah, let's do this. Because I don't think he realized that I don't have as much of a writing background as I actually have a broadcast background. So they said, if we're going to do this, can you put a team together? And that's when I reached out. I said, if I'm going to be doing this, I think the person who should call color with me would be Jake Painter, who can literally break down things about a defense as they happen. And then Joe got brought in, but the project got scrapped because they didn't have the bandwidth to run it. So they were kind of disappointed. They were like, hey, we really wanted to do this. We were getting really excited. So I said, maybe we can go out and live stream a football game. And we ended up doing Bartlett versus South Elgin. We learned a lot. We made a lot of mistakes that broadcast because we thought that we could just run it with a cell phone as a hotspot. Cell phones don't go nearly fast enough, so that picture quality was non-existent, and it stopped and was only carrying the audio a bunch of times. But when we finally figured all that stuff out, I bought a mobile hotspot and loaded it up with data, and we went out and did Canelan in LaSalle, Peru, and it was really nice. It's just that Jake wasn't there. So then we took a break because Jake was working a lot of hours. Joe was in law school. I was trying to figure out how to be a teacher. And then when we were finally ready to be like, hey, let's go out and do baseball. Let's go out and do boys volleyball, whatever. The Rona hits. And
the Rona hit. That's terrible.
Yeah, the Rona hits and cancels all live sports. So I was just like, guys, you want to do just a sports talk show? And now I think we're having more fun doing the sports talk show than we are doing the live events. And we're going to figure out a way. We definitely want to at least carry on with high school football, because we saw that was eventually what could be somewhat profitable in terms of being able to sell ad time and get ourselves some viewers. But it's really just a hobby right now. I'm glad I'm not still trying to do this at 22 and make this a career, because all the pressure's off me and I feel like I'm such a better version of myself on the mic. But yeah, facebook.com/Triple J Sports Chicago.
Is that Triple J with the J or J-A-Y?
J. Just
okay.
The letter J, because
it's Jake,
the three J's are Jake Painter, Joe Esses, John Gallioni. And that's why Austin and Rachel were only honorary J's, because they don't have a J.
Yep, sorry.
J.
Yeah, it's okay.
I have a J.
If Jake Jewell was, he could be a member. He could be a hella member and make it quintuple J's.
So it's Jake Johnny.
My middle name starts with a J. Just saying.
Is it Jasper?
You guys are like the Tony Tone. Tony Tone.
It's Joseph.
of the podcast and world.
Deal, man.
Well, the tone of the podcast is very much it's pro college sports stuff. But last episode, what's going to kind of shape our content is not only what our listeners want to hear, but what's just going on right now. There's not a whole lot of live sports to cover. And we had a
Last Dance.
We've been talking a lot about the Last Dance, been talking a lot about, the hypotheticals of when baseball starts up. What do the Cubs need to add? What do the Sox need to add? We've had some really good guests so far, between having Austin and Rachel on Wednesday and having our buddy Skip from Stats Inc. We also, our first episode, we had Rick Camp, who runs the Basketball Camp podcast, and he was a producer at 670 The Score. We had Herb Lawrence, another 670 The Score producer. Rick's no longer at The Score, but check out his podcast, Basketball Camp. If you're an NBA guy, he does 2 podcasts a week, one for national and then one that's just the Bulls. The dude's exquisite. So if that's your lane,
one's got to be rough.
No, he's good though. He's
well,
good.
Now that it's Karnasovitz running the show,
the GM's gone now. He's probably just happy as hell.
Good, but we're gonna eventually get an Instagram, and we're gonna do all of that stuff. I don't want this to be like 2 years from now and we're like trying to make TikTok content or something, but like I do want it to grow.
I'm just laughing.
Yeah, I just don't like.
Guys, I'm gonna be real. Can I say something about TikTok, man?
Go for it.
It's cool and all, but like I just don't trust it anymore, yo.
TikTok is
it's ran by China. They got all our information, dog.
Bro, TikTok,
all of it,
bro.
All of it.
I swear every girl on there is
That's
like.
all I'm saying.
Bro, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to like anything, and I'm just saying this because at this point, can't hear you. I'm just like, wow, this is like
Daisy Kelly.
What?
When I get up on TikTok, I'm a flirt.
Got you. Yeah. No, it's not that. It's just that, bro.
We can't sing R. Kelly on this podcast, Johnny. This is a now R. Kelly podcast.
Chicks dick spinning, walk up in the club with the women.
You're getting muted. You'll get muted.
Johnny,
I'm muted.
Progressive podcast.
Singing,
Thank you. This is a progressive podcast. Okay, but
because Charles is telling me to do it, I know it's not a bad idea. Charles is just
hilarious.
chaotic evil on the chart.
I mean, it's the beginning.
That's Charles's brand.
Kelly.
That is Charles's for the victims and everything. It's all fucked up, but like we can't.
I'm out on R. Kelly. I can't do it.
I don't listen to it anymore. I only really like a couple songs by him.
TikTok makes me afraid to have a daughter, bro. That's all I have to say. TikTok, whenever that day comes, TikTok makes me.
Not even a son. I just saw a video on TikTok of some dude who slapped the shit out of his dad just to get.
I don't care about the child, but I'm talking about how these women are being sexualized on TikTok. Again, we're a progressive podcast, but that's a different story, and that's a different episode. But this episode has been so wonderful. I feel like every day, every week, we are getting better. I want to thank you, Royalty, for listening. I want to thank Johnny Gaglione and Triple J Sports for joining the podcast.
I want to thank you guys for having me, and thank the Royalty too, because the Royalty's been good to me in the past.
Man, tell them about it, man. The Royalty, you have been good to us.
Johnny.
You have been good to Johnny, our executive producer. I'm telling you, we would not be here. I also want to give a big shout out to Rachel, because she expressed a few things that I know are uncomfortable at first, but they need to be said because everybody needs their journey to be heard, because they need to be validated, not by you, but by themselves. So, Rachel, we appreciate you again always for your testimony. I know I'm all over the place, but I have to do it.
It's nice to hear from the Queen.
Yes, it's very much needed.
It's nice to have a female perspective of things. And we be mad misogynistic sometimes, yo.
I don't even know if we be ignorant.
Daisy,
we don't be we be ignorant.
You just said you were scared to have a daughter.
That's not misogynistic.
Like, come on, man.
Listen to what I said in my explanation.
Again, wrap up the show.
You're right. I'm sorry, Royalty. You know, people get me hyped. We're over-sexualizing these girls at a young age. It gets me a little, because it's just gross. It's weird.
You should be afraid to have a son who might turn into that.
You're right, because then I don't want to, like, it's how do you teach your son in this generation? Anyways, that's besides the point. Royalty, thank you. Thank you to all my co-hosts. I really want to say that each and every day, y'all bring me a whole lot of joy. And I know we're in quarantine, But if it was not for y'all,
I'm gonna give you some closing music while you do this.
Go ahead, do this, please, man. Johnny,
keep talking.
Light me up. Royalty, it's beautiful, man. What we're doing is so lovely. I can't even imagine where we are right now. But we're only getting better, you know. We got pods.
Play me some Green Day.
We got sponsors.
I got a song request too.
We got sponsors. We got the internet coming. We got everything coming. All I ask is YouTube, rate, review, subscribe, repeat. Everything is growing, bro. I love to see it because every day we're getting bigger and better. We're a business. Royalty, I don't know what to keep saying. I love my co-host. I love everything that we're doing, and I love the team that we're building. Each and every day.
Unpredictable, and in the end, it's right.
Sorry, Austin, the problem is that the two guitars that are near me are not like the right guitars.
Oh, it's okay.
Keep talking.
Johnny,
keep going.
I mean, with some Nickelback right now, I need that.
Now it's outro time, and my outro is literally going to be this. I've been watching this new show that's been shedding a lot of light and tea for me. It's called Little Fires Everywhere. And in this season,
I've heard good things about that show.
Man, I'm telling y'all, if y'all ain't watched it, go watch it. I'm telling you, and we can have a think piece on Little Fires Everywhere. I'm telling you, it's so deep. We could go on it but there's layers. But it's beside the point. Besides the point. Don't get me off track. And my quote from Pretty Little Liars, from Mia Warren. Wait, Johnny, bring it down.
All right, my bad.
I need you to bring it down, and I need it to be like a little mellow beat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
Like I need the people to be in their feelings. Like, you know, there we go. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's it.
Here, I'll give you some mellow right here.
Yes. Ooh. Okay, R&B thug, come on, in the bag. All right. Here we go.
Oh, Deji.
Pretty Little Liars. The quote and outro that I have for y'all is that, look, you're not an exception just because you want to be. That is from Mia Warren on Little Fires Everywhere. Just remember that, y'all. We are normal people each and every day. Now, whoever wants to go next, please. Please.
I would like to say that everyone should speak their mind when there's something on their mind, because holding it in's not good for you. So
I like that.
I've been learning how to do that myself because I feel like I don't talk as much when there's something wrong. So that's for you to feel better about everybody's self. That's all I got. That's me right there.
Charles? Actually, let's let Rachel finish. Let's let Rachel finish. Wait. Rachel, I want you to be last.
Okay.
Charles, please, go ahead.
All right, so I'll leave it like this. Basically, up to you, deal with your own insecurities and everything. And even if haters are saying all that shit to you, man, just use that as motivation to inspire yourself, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Just to bestow confidence in your own self. Because a lot of times when people hate, like, that's one thing you got to figure out, that they're just very envious of something that you have.
That's
the majority of the time. Whether it doesn't have to be money, you know what I'm saying? It could just be like how you present yourself, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get in a nerdy bag, but I literally realized that, like, I hated Sasuke the entire time just because that motherfucker was cold as hell. I fuck with Naruto more just because he had to bust his ass. It wasn't a natural talent, but Sasuke is cold as hell. You know what I'm saying? I think that might be my first experience of hating on somebody just to hate. You know what I'm saying?
Charles.
All right, Charles, hit me with it.
Yeah, you know what you got to do.
Oh, whether you up somewhere high, somewhere down low, or somewhere off in the middle, just remember to work on your mental health, you know? That's your boy Swoop Kage. I'm
you
gonna
are
pass
beautiful.
it to RBZ. She's on my right.
Rachel?
I'm gonna just throw it over there real quick.
Yep. Pretty basic to end today's episode. First off, don't comment on someone else's body. You have no right to do it. It's absolutely unacceptable in today's day and age. Second, and last, like, this is it. Classic quote. We're ending on it. Eleanor Roosevelt said it. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent.
Woo! We love you, Rosie. We are out.
Audi 5000.
We love y'all. See y'all next week.
Peace.